Name that early American boy band. Meanwhile, we are joined by the strawberry farmer, Sky Kurtz. Sky, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Always great to be here.
Why popsicles?
It's summer, it's hot, and we want to continue to do exciting things in our value-added products line. We're taking our award-winning produce and trying to do interesting things that delight consumers with it.
This follows your move into the jam trade. Is it also using the less aesthetically pleasing fruit?
Absolutely. It's part of our philosophy of no waste. So we're using the ugly produce, as you would call it, and finding kind of valuable ways to create, innovative, distinctive, and kind of convenient offerings. And for the summer, we thought, what better than a collaboration on a delicious popsicle, putting as much fruit as possible inside. In fact, there's roughly a half a cup of strawberries per bar. And we thought it would be something that would delight people. It's a healthy alternative to higher calorie, higher sugar alternatives, and in line with our ethos and this new product category that we're expanding.
You say as much fruit as possible. What are the limits?
Well, it's about a half a cup per bar, given the grammage. So that's 75 to 100 grams of strawberries per bar. Is
that how much you can physically get in there, or is that a legal limit?
There's a limit. Beyond that, you would need preservatives. And so the same we have in our jams. We have around 63% strawberries. The average in the market is 40 to 50%. But if you go beyond that, you have to add preservatives. So we're really maxing out the fruit forward limitation, wanting, and I think you experienced that in the bar you tried, we want it to be really fruit forward, right? That's our signature product, our award-winning produce, and that's what we're trying to build it around. It's ingredient led, but then we partner with culinary artists to develop the products.
Okay. One of the things, though, that we did notice yesterday in our taste test, Richard bought us a bunch of different pops online, is that you were not the cheapest. What does putting that much fruit in do to the price?
Well, we ultimately are collaborating with other partners, right? So there's the House of Pops, there's ourselves, and of course Noon. Not to mention the supply chain of getting a frozen product to the customer. We do not use frozen strawberries. It's fresh strawberries made into the popsicle, but then of course it has to be frozen and managed to the site. So it's a higher cost product at relatively limited production. If it becomes hugely successful, we would indeed scale it up, and then we would be able to manage the cost. But when you're doing smaller production runs, it ultimately results in a higher unit cost of production.
Is this a test case for a permanent product?
We hope so. We want to see how this performs this summer. It was a partnership and a creative marketing effort with our partner Noon Minutes, and we want to see if consumers love and are excited about it. We're seeing great success in you remember the tomato-based sauces we've launched, a product line of taking our tomatoes and partnering with chefs to create really inspired tomato sauces. That's doing very well, and we're now in multiple locations. We also have done the same with the strawberry jams. And so now we're trying to extend new products. And in fact, we have a whole pipeline of opportunities we're thinking about. Sorbets. We're also looking at possibly doing a strawberry matcha latte in partnership with a partner.
A coffee partner, presumably?
Yes, correct. And a Bloody Mary mix, and for Virgin Marys as well. And then we're thinking about freeze-dried strawberries. In fact, to partners out there who are interested in collaborating, it's something we're finding a lot of joy in. Consumers are loving it, that a local partner, homegrown champion brand and product that people are familiar with is now infusing it into other people's products and doing collaborations together just to drive innovation and sustainability, values within our food system in the United Arab Emirates.
Is there any pistachio product in your potential product pipeline?
Not yet, but that famous and delightful pistachio Dubai chocolate, we've certainly been thinking about, could we have a similar, in fact, we've already done trials, a similar product with either our strawberries or our blackberries or our blueberries, and in putting it into a chocolate and infusing it in a similar grenache, that texture. And that's something we're experimenting with and would be interested to do.
What do the profit margins look like on these value-added products compared to your straight vegetables?
So it would be lower gross margins. However, we don't have the capital intensity, right? So we don't build the food manufacturing process, if you will. We typically find a partner. We supply the fresh produce, the ingredients, and the formulation, if you will, and then the process and the packaging. We then take the product back and we market, sell, and distribute it. But that actual manufacturing process is done in collaboration with the partner. For example, our jams. There's a company called Under One Roof. It's a bakery and confectionery company that is our manufacturing partner, led by Chef Lucas and Chef Willie. And so we're collaborating with partners like this, and that enables us to reduce that capital intensity. So while the margins are lower, the returns are on capital are comparable.
Or how much of your business then I'm calling them value add. I kind of don't want to call them processed because such a dirty word at the moment and such degrees of processing. But how big a part of of your business could that be?
I believe it could reach, 15 to 30%. There is a company in the United States called Gotham Greens, based out of New York, that actually was early to do this. They started taking some of their greens into things like pestos, then started creating salads and salad dressings to accompany their salads. They've had great success, and I'm told it's about 30% of their business. They started about 2 years ahead of us. So this is an idea that ultimately, if consumers continue to enjoy, it's fundamentally ingredient led. They can trust the quality and freshness of the produce that went inside. As I mentioned, we max the limits of fruit in anything that we're doing. And if people are enjoying it, I think it could grow significantly. It has been growing nicely, and then we're excited about it. Hence, we're investing behind it. The original pilot was in the tomato-based sauces and shakshuka and such. And once that showed promise, we're now launching new products, and we see real potential. We also see opportunity in hotels, restaurants, catering. For example, a Bloody Mary mix, right, which made with our fresh tomatoes. I think that could become an iconic product. We're playing with ideas, maybe calling it an ugly Mary because of the use of the ugly tomatoes. But we're finding there's a lot of opportunity in the space, and really it's up to the consumers. Are we delighting them at a price point that provides them value with unique and innovative products?
What does that diversification mean for your business model? Does it give you a bit more safety in different revenue streams or not, given that you're still relying on the original produce?
No, well, what it allows you to do is manage a couple of things. One, when you have, for example, our cherry on the vine and one tomato falls off, what do you do with it? When you sell it as a loose second product, it can sell at a fifth of the retail value of a high quality product, even though it's safe and high quality. So it allows you to capture more value out of that product. But secondly, it makes it inventoriable. So perishable goods are by their nature perishable. In a strawberry, it might be 3 to 5 days, a tomato, 7 to 12 days. But if we can make that into a shelf-stable, branded, consumer staple, that has a lot of value. And then the last piece is, of course, the more your brand is out there in a retailer and out in the market, you become an FMCG company, right? And I think that that's attractive strategically. It's also attractive to the capital markets and investors one day. So I think it can drive a lot of value for the business, for the brand, and ultimately for us to not waste anything, right? And capture all the value we can out of that delightful produce we produce.
20 seconds, does it allow you to move easier into international markets?
It does. You can export these products, and the value to weight ratio, or the volumetrics, if you will, are quite attractive. So it can be that if it's sticky, if you will, we could potentially export. Look at the way Dubai chocolates are now all over the world. Jams ship quite well. Bon Moment ships heavily from France here, right? So yes, this could be an opportunity to drive an export business as well.
Sky Kurtz of Pure Harvest, jam maker, popsicle provider. Thank you very much for joining us in the studio this morning.